The man defeated the demigod in the underground arena. He was then received by the management alone, and they even vowed to make him the successor of the arena. Wu was surprised. Bloody Arena has a huge flow of people. There are also many different races coming and going every day. Just the MP earned from these people every day. It's not a small amount. Just such a big pie. How could it easily fall on my head? There may be some sneaky tactics hidden in it, he asked cautiously. Before making a decision, I need to know how many heirs there are to the Bloody Arena. What treatment do the heirs of the Bloody Arena receive after becoming one? What responsibilities do they have to shoulder? A projection appears before you. Wu, you are not swayed by the immediate benefits. It really surprises me. Since you want answers, I will explain it to you in detail. Currently, there are 349 inheritors in the Bloody Arena, with 221 of them being divinity creatures. There are 118 demigods, 9 genuine deities, and 1 deity. After becoming the inheritor, you will obtain the eternal coordinates of the Bloody Arena. You can perform device-free pinpoint teleportation to any dimension recorded here. Each teleportation costs 1 million MP. Moreover, you will be authorized to establish a special Bloody Arena in the realm to cultivate family dependence. As for the responsibility, when the number of inheritors reaches 500, the Bloody Arena will initiate the inheritance ceremony to select the most outstanding individual to become the master of the Bloody Arena. As an inheritor, you must participate in it. Wu looked pensive. In the style of the underground arena, this ceremony is definitely not simple. It is likely that these 500 individuals will have to fight each other, and the final victor will become the master. I am now the 350th. There is still a lot of time until reaching 500. Perhaps by then, I will have developed into a divine king, the administrator urged. Are you willing? After a moment of thought, Wu nodded after weighing the pros and cons. I'm willing. Soon, a prompt sounded. Congratulations on becoming the 350th successor of the Bloody Arena. As soon as the words fell, a red light shot towards Wu's arm, leaving behind a unique mark on his skin. This is the eternal coordinate of the Bloody Arena. Immediately, a wave of dizziness hit. When Wu appeared again, he was already in the hall. Upon seeing Wu return, Wen Tian immediately stepped forward to greet him. Wu, you are truly my lucky star. We have struck it rich this time. He then placed the phone in Wu's palm. There is already as much as 1 billion MP transferred onto it. I have never seen such a huge wealth in my whole life. Just counting the number of zeros, they are repeated several times. Look at his naive appearance. Wen Tian sighed. Wu, how to spend 1 billion MP is not something you can figure out at once. I suggest you first purchase suitable artifacts. Wu is very different. Right now, I am only a divinity creature, not even a demigod. Can I control an artifact? Wen Tian patted his chest. Teacher, how could I harm you? I just happen to know a shop selling artifacts. I can definitely help you find an artifact that suits you. Wu inwardly complained. This is just perfect. What a coincidence. The man awakened the weakest locust family dependents in history. But he defeated a demigod in a cross-level challenge. For this, that demigod even specially came to find him. Locust Plague, I finally found you. Elephant Lord saw him charging over in a rush. Wu immediately hid behind the homeroom teacher. Teacher, please save me. Wen Tian is also a demigod. Naturally unafraid of Elephant Lord, he spread out his arms to shield Wu. Humph. With me here, who dares to hurt my student? Elephant Lord immediately stopped in his tracks upon seeing the situation. He hurriedly explained. Don't misunderstand. I'm not here for revenge against you. I just came over because I think you have great strength. I want to be friends with you. I'm a first-year student at Jingxi University. My real name is Ming. Upon hearing the words, first year, Wu couldn't help but cough. Who would have thought that a burly man with a full beard is just a college student? Ming Xiang is very interested in Wu. You are not very old. You probably haven't taken the college entrance examination yet. Which preparatory school are you from? Wu answered truthfully. I am not a preparatory student of the college. Just an ordinary high school student. Ming Xiang's eyes almost popped out when he heard that. He thought Wu was not honest, so he repeatedly questioned him. How could he, a demigod himself, possibly lose to a high school student? Wu helplessly pointed to Wen Tian behind him. If you don't believe me, you can ask my homeroom teacher. Wen Tian cleared his throat twice. Locust Plague is indeed not a preparatory student. Although many academies have invited him, he has always only wanted to join Capital Academy. However, the capital was not interested in him. Ming Xiang suddenly realized. He thought to himself that at least the other party was someone who had been invited by many top-tier colleges. Losing to him wouldn't be too embarrassing. Then he patted Wu on the shoulder. I will report your matter to the college. I will ask them to lower the test requirements for you. When you go back, try to improve your core family dependence as much as possible. Maybe you can seize this opportunity to get on the list of prospective students for Capital Academy. Wu was very surprised. Will you really help me? Ming Xiang, however, laughed heartily. You have great potential. The road to becoming a god is long. Having a few partners to rely on naturally makes it easier than going in alone. And I have recommended you to the academy. As long as you pass the test, the school will reward me with some resources. It's a free reward. Why wouldn't I want it? Wu thinks this matter is reliable. Then I will leave it to you. Ming Xiang smiled and said, It's nothing. But to forge iron, you need to be strong yourself. You should invest more resources in core family dependence recently. It's best to cultivate a hero. After all, passing the test of Capital Academy is not an easy task. After saying goodbye to Ming Xiang, Wen Tian brought Wu to a shop on Huabao Road that sells items. Without saying a word, Wen Tian pushed the door open and walked in. What caught his eye was a beautiful demigod receptionist. There was no discrimination against Wu for being a divine being. Are you here to buy items of what grade or to meet which forging master? Wen Tian appeared to be very experienced. Help me contact Master Tony and say that an old acquaintance is visiting. Wu was speechless to himself. Just leave it to Master Tony to give you a haircut. Is he skilled in crafting artifacts? While Wu was complaining, the beautiful receptionist had already led them to a portal. You two, please enter from here. The two locked eyes with each other. And then they entered the portal together. I saw a bald man with a strong and stout body and a wide face, working on the iron. Lao Tian, are the fat sheep you brought this time fat enough? Wu listened and vaguely felt that he was the fat sheep that the other person mentioned. I'm running away now. Is it too late? The student followed the teacher to the shop that sells artifacts. Unexpectedly, as soon as they entered, they heard the boss asking the teacher, Is the fat sheep brought this time fat enough or not? Wu instantly understood. It's obvious that he's treating himself as a big fool. Is it still possible to escape now? The homeroom teacher Wen Tian coughed awkwardly twice. Tony, be serious. They are my students now. Tony scratched his head. Lao Tian students. Then I need to explain the service philosophy of our shop to you. Our shop treats everyone fairly. There are no student discounts. Wu felt like 1,000 grass mud horses were running through his mind upon hearing this. Is this how treating everyone fairly is used? Shouldn't there be a student discount? It's not easy for students to make money. They have to fight in matches to earn 10 billion MP with all their might. Wen Tian hurriedly explained, Wu, Tony speaks bluntly, but is actually kind-hearted. His words may be harsh, but the items he crafts are really good. Tony chuckled and replied, After all these years, I finally hear some honest words from you. He smiled on the surface. But deep down, he was ranting like crazy. Who are you calling a sharp-tongued person? Who do you say speaks harshly? If it weren't for you introducing clients to me, I will just... Shortly after, Tony opened the partition in the exhibition hall. Come on. Let me show you around my works. Inside the exhibition hall, there are hundreds of artifacts on display, each and every one meticulously created by Master Tony with great effort and dedication. These artifacts are all imprinted with my exclusive mark, to prove that they were all created by my own hands. Took a few rounds, when Tian screened the prices of hundreds of artifacts. Then, he explained the advantages and disadvantages to Wu. Wu is considering the next steps. May have to face the assessment imposed by Capital Academy. Fell in love with a 2-stars artifact Gu vessel. This artifact contains a space that can accommodate up to 100,000 insect tribes to perform Gu cultivation ritual. The insects inside will engage in battles, and those who survive will have a chance to evolve into heroes. It can also attract nearby insect tribes. It is currently the most suitable artifact for Wu. When Tian's eyes are full of admiration. Wu does have good taste. Gu vessel does not have powerful abilities. However, it is the most suitable choice. Master Tony immediately handed over his payment code upon hearing the words. For divinity, or 580 million MP. How would you like to make the payment? When Tian stopped Tony and had a conversation with him. Please give me a discount to save face. Otherwise, I could also give you something as a gift. If you don't give me a discount, I might scold you. Master Tony is not someone who is oblivious to advice. He gave Wu a small discount. 6 billion MP plus 10 stars artifact surrendered. Eye of Probe. As the name suggests, it is used to detect biological information. It is priced at 50 million MP on the official website. However, Wu was planning to leave, but was stopped by the boss. Even changed his tune to address you as a valued customer. Here I have a fragment of a lost civilization. I have specially crafted a unique artifact that I think complements your temperament very well. When Tian curiously snatched it away, used Demigod's power to examine the effect of artifact. He found out. This spherical artifact turns out to have no effect at all. When Tian lost his temper on the spot. Tony, I treated you as a friend. You treat me as a big fool. I examined this broken ball and found no power at all. Do you really think I dare not lay a hand on you? The poor student visited an artifact shop for the first time. He immediately spent a hefty 6 billion to buy 2 artifacts. The boss quickly changed his words and called him a distinguished customer. He even recommended a special artifact to him. But as a demigod, when Tian could tell at a glance that this golden sphere was useless. Boss Tony quickly explained that this artifact is called Greed Wolf and comes from a long-lost civilization. It grows by devouring other artifacts. And it can inherit the powers of the artifacts it devours, causing anger from dozens of civilizations. It will forever disappear into the long river of history. The store is offering a great promotion now. This artifact from a lost civilization is now available for only 10 billion MP. What are you hesitating for? Wu's first reaction is that it's too cheap. An artifact that led to the downfall of a powerful civilization. What a joke. Tony knows what he is struggling with. He explained proactively. In fact, this artifact is incomplete. It has some minor flaws. It can still grow by consuming artifacts, but the efficiency will be 10 times slower. It can only inherit some passive effects and cannot inherit the accompanying divine magic. When Tian on the side bluntly said, "Isn't this just a piece of junk?" Tony was very angry. "Old Tian, you can insult my character, but you cannot insult." After thinking for a moment, Wu decided, "I'll buy this artifact. I'll offer 4 billion MP. When Tian was anxious. "Wu, 4 billion is not a small amount. Even if you're rich, you shouldn't spend money recklessly like this." In fact, Wu was thinking from a reverse perspective. If one were to acquire an artifact from an enemy that cannot be tamed or destroyed, Greed Wolf's devouring power could just consume it. This would also be a way to weaken the enemy's power. He explained to Wen Tian, "Teacher Tian, I really admire the artifact created by Master Tony. With just a fragment, he was able to forge Greed Wolf. I am willing to use all my MP to support his forging. But the problem is, I am too poor. I only have 400 million MP left. I wonder if Master Tony would be willing to compromise. It may seem like an explanation, but in reality, it's actually praise and bargaining. However, Master Tony seems to be enjoying it. He touched his own bald head. Finally sold it to Wu for 4 billion MPs. No amount of money can buy a true confidant. The artifact Greed Wolf belongs to you now. Tony, a master blacksmith, pursues artistry and recognition above all else. He feels the Wu, and truly appreciates the power of this artifact. The scene shifts. Wu has already teleported back home. He immediately began the ritual to claim ownership of the 3 artifacts. According to the instructions accompanying the artifacts, he dripped his blood separately on 3 artifacts, turning into tiny threads of blood spreading on the surface of the artifact. The first to complete the acknowledgement as the master is the 0 stars artifact I, a probe instrument spirit transforming into a golden firefly flying towards Wu. Next is the 2 stars artifact Gu vessel instrument spirit, which is a frog. It leaped out of the vessel with a swoosh. The frog opened its mouth wide and croaked loudly. Wu immediately commanded 100,000 elite locusts to fly into its mouth for refinement. Results are expected to come out in a day. However, the artifact Greed Wolf remained motionless. Wu sensed the message that its blood was not enough. Damn. You're a vampire. The man dripped blood onto the artifact. Suddenly, it emitted bursts of light. Soon, a wolf pup that looked like a Siberian husky appeared in front of my eyes. That is the instrument spirit of artifact Greed Wolf. Wu frowned involuntarily. He thought to himself, "Is this really Greed Wolf? But why does it look more and more like a Siberian husky?" Without waiting for him to think further, the wolf pup suddenly started howling. It seemed like it wanted artifact as its food. Wu pondered in his heart. Was it influenced by gluttony code right after being summoned? But my ancestors, I am so broke that I'm almost eating dirt. Where can I find any artifacts? But it won't do to not feed right after being summoned. So Wu casually threw out a pure energy crystal. Unexpectedly, the wolf pup was as cheerful as a little dog. It suddenly jumped up and bit the energy crystal. After finishing these tasks, Wu meditated on the spot, thinking of the family dependents in the realm. With the repair and upgrade of the gluttony code, the family dependents of locusts have been greatly affected. They are eating wildly. Locusts are evolving every moment. And the other 4 ordinary family dependents are living enriched lives. The red dwarfs are mining and forging iron. The Minotaur clan is forging new totems. Iron-cutting Swordwind is comprehending skills. And Skeleton Tribe is gnawing on the dazzling skeleton crystal. Wu is very satisfied with the family dependents. The gluttony code has now been repaired to level 3. Just by eating, one can evolve into elite. If further repaired, upgrade, it can make ordinary life evolve into otherworldly life. In this way, my locusts, under conditions of abundant food, can't all employees be promoted to otherworldly life? That's tens of billions of otherworldly life. A few days later, the number of locusts in Wu's realm has surged to 14 billion. It's time to start a new round of sacrifices. He only kept 1 billion otherworldly life locusts for future use. Then all 13 billion locusts were donated for inspection. At this moment, the situation in the realm is ever-changing. A huge sacrifice ritual circle shrouds the entire area. Countless locusts have turned into streams of life energy, converging into the ritual circle. The rewards that appeared before Wu quickly earned his praises. Is this the reward for sacrificing 13 billion locusts? Indeed, it is so much better than before. 10,000 Nightmare Hunter Otherworldly Life. Option 2. The 3 stars artifact Dominion Steel Blade serves as both an artifact and a holy relic. It functions as a level 3 holy relic. Additionally, there is a chance for level 2 Holy Relic Enlightenment Stone Core family dependents to be enlightened into a semi-human form. After reading the description, Wu didn't hesitate and directly chose option 3. Because being in a semi-human form means family dependents can use weapons just like humans. For example, Minotaur, Lizardfolk, and even Ratfolk belong to semi-humanoid races. But common does not mean semi-humanoid is inferior. If locusts evolve into semi-humanoid form, they can use weapons. Combined with top-notch aerial power, that's definitely an air force. As the level 2 Holy Relic is loaded into the realm core, a strong light descends from the sky and pierces into Wu's realm. Soon, billions of locusts rush into the beam of light. Roughly 1 in 1,000, about 1,000,000 locusts, are affected by the Enlightenment Stone. The man crushed the Enlightenment Stone of the level 2 Holy Relic. Let 1,000,000 locusts in the realm evolve into a humanoid form. That is a new type of species. Not only do they have humanoid bodies, but they also have acquired primitive intelligence. And the semi-humanoid form can use weapons. This is a huge advancement for Wu. After these locusts metamorphose into humanoid locusts, it became an otherworldly life in one leap. It can also produce higher quality locust eggs. Even the faith energy has reached fanatical believer level. Each humanoid locust can produce almost 2 MP points during its life cycle. Just as Wu was immersed in joy, the homeroom teacher Wen Tian sent a video call request. After the call connected, Wen Tian said that Jingxi College issued a notice to retest Wu. Tomorrow, an admissions officer will come to the school to test him. All of this is within Wu's expectations, because demigod Elephant Lord Mingxiang had promised to help him. Arrived at the school, Sun Tzu, on the other hand, came up to him. This time he put down the pride of being a noble family member. How has your realm been developing recently? If you lack resources, you can tell me. Some scarce resources cannot be bought online. My family has many demigods. There are some connections available. Wu asked tentatively. Can your family obtain realm core fragments? I currently need from level 7. The amount of realm core fragments needed to level up to level 10. Sun Tzu said he can get it. But the price is a bit high. Even if we get a cost price based on our relationship, it's not a small amount. It probably needs 400 million MP. Wu is indeed feeling a little troubled. Sigh, indeed poverty restricts one's own development. But Sun Tzu added that if you can sell me 1,000 copies of Skeleton Knight from Otherworldly Life, it could offset this MP. Wu immediately became interested upon hearing about Skeleton Knight from Otherworldly Life. Deal? Sun Tzu has witnessed the terror of the Skeleton Legion. He didn't expect Wu to agree so readily. Should have picked the hero's necromancer early on. When Tian walked into the classroom at this moment, Wu, the examiner from Jingxi University, is here. He's waiting for you at the Educational Affairs office. However, when Wu arrived at the Educational Affairs office, the enrollment teacher with the Mediterranean hairdo was stunned. He thought to himself that this kid didn't pass the C trials, but managed to get an internal recommendation. But what can be done? The test at Jingxi College is much harder than the high school examination. In order to eliminate cheating, the test restricts only core family dependents to participate. What are the core family dependents of this kid? The lowest ranking locusts, perhaps? Here he had a triumphant announcement of the test content. You will invade a border town of a vast civilization called Dulong City. The civilization has a sound level system and professional structure. You and your family dependents will all be affected, once identified by the system as a disastrous demonic creature. The workers in Dulong City will take the initiative to hunt you down and eliminate you completely. And you have only one mission. At least kill one of the heroes guarding Dulong City. Wu asked. Teacher, I would like to ask how many troops are in Dulong City and how many heroes are there? The admissions teacher smiled and said, Dulong City has a population of tens of millions. The probability of professionals is over 10%. There are a total of 5 heroes. For more information, you need to explore it yourself after arriving in that civilization. You have 1 hour left to prepare. Upon seeing this, Wu quickly found the class teacher. Teacher Tion. I want to use the class points I recently received. Exchange for 3 grade 1 sacred items. The man placed the core fragments into the realm. Instantly upgrade the level 7 realm core to level 10. And then loaded 3 newly exchanged holy relics. Level 1 holy relic. Poison gland has a certain chance to give core family dependents the poison attribute and grow a poison gland. Level 1 holy relic. Earth's core has a certain chance to give core family dependents the earth element, increasing defense. Level 1 holy relic. Fairy shortbow is both a holy relic and a divine weapon. It has a certain chance to give core family dependents the power to summon a shortbow as a weapon. The host deity gains the power to summon the fairy shortbow itself. 3 beams of light shot down. All 5 billion locusts in the entire realm were affected to varying degrees. Wu is more confident in this test. Most infernal worms have poison glands. Defense of half of the abyssal locusts has been increased. Almost all humanoid locusts can engage in combat using a shortbow. 1 hour of preparation time quickly passed. Wu appeared in front of the admissions teacher once again. He took out a crystal ball and said that as long as you hold it, you can teleport to the outskirts of Dulong City with core family dependents. Wu gently placed his hand on it upon hearing this. The next moment, a burst of light radiated from the crystal ball. Before long, Wu's whole body was engulfed in golden light. He was quickly teleported to a forest. Behind him were 5 billion core family dependents, so densely packed that they almost blocked out the sky. At this moment, a series of urgent beeping sounds rang in his mind. Intruder detected. Please quickly leave the current dimension. Otherwise, you will be identified as a demonic creature and subject to elimination. The intruder refuses to leave and is identified as a demonic creature with the codename Lord of the Fiendish Locusts. His personal information panel then appears in front of him, clearly documenting his innate items and skills. Wu quickly scrolls through the panel, wanting to check the level information of the 2 newly born heroes, humanoid locusts. However, after viewing it, he is still puzzled. What does level 60 mean in this context? It is difficult to judge without a reference point. Just then, a humanoid locust flew back to report. Oh gods! There are creatures attacking us! Wu immediately jumped over upon hearing this. On the abyssal locust of an otherworldly life. Departing. We are going to examine the enemy's situation. On the other side, a warrior holding a great sword. Observing this group of overwhelming locusts. Demonic creatures. So many demonic creatures appearing out of nowhere. On the side, the wrathful martial artist is excited beyond measure. Son, you should be happy too. More demonic creatures means more bounty for us. Once we save enough money, we can enhance the team's strength by the second-class change. The water sage in the rear is summoning the little fairy. Let it go collect the arcane crystals that burst out from the locusts after they die. There is also a fire mage, who has turned red with rage, continuously waving their staff to unleash flames. Groups of locusts turn into charred remains in the horrifying heat. Little did they know, in a corner of the sky, Wu has already seen everything through the eye of probe. And the information panels of the 4 individuals have also been fully understood. Form a character that fits the current civilization. Son Elvin's level 37 Dragon Blood Warrior Tier 2. In addition, all 4 people are wearing a similar style of badge. The difference is that Son's badge is made of silver. The other 3 people have badges made of bronze. This allows Wu to understand in an instant. This Son is the leader among the 4. At this moment, Son already faintly felt that something was amiss. Killed over 1,000 demonic creatures. But the number kept increasing instead. When he was prepared to retreat, Wu issued an oracle. Go and test their strength. Just saw that hero's humanoid locust diving straight down. It landed in front of the 4 people. Son felt the oppressive aura coming from the other party. It turned out to be a Tier 3 demonic creature.